Don't say it. Hiss it.
What the hell are you doing here? Get out! Get out! Get out!
Doctor, what is this? I feel like my guts are being rearranged.
Touch your skin. It's scale. Look for your legs. They're gone. Feel your body. It's cold. And listen for the hissing.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Hey!
This week, we'll be discussing the forgotten classic, Sssss.
How many S's is that? I think it's like 7 is what it is.
It's 7 S's. Yeah, you don't need to adjust your headphones. That's not a technical difficulty. That is evidently the title of this movie about snake people, starring Strother Martin and the immortal Dirk Benedict. You know him, don't you?
He's looking rough these days.
To say the least. Good Lord. I had never even heard of this movie, to be honest. This was one of your choices.
1973 classic, man. I think I saw this at late night TV and had bad dreams of the Snake Man forever.
Oh, God, help me. I'm going to have nightmares.
My college friends have tales like we would sit around a campfire and play charades, and this was one of mine, where I rose up like I was a snake, and my friend Rhonda knew immediately. She's like,
so we have an audience of one.
Times.
Good times. Okay, why don't you give us the quick summary of...
All right. Very, very simply.
Yep.
Doctor doing snake research because apparently snakes are going to be what live here after the humans destroy the earth. Not snake men, but will actually just become frickin' snakes. So that makes no goddamn sense. So we don't survive the earth is basically what it comes down to.
Right.
But anyway, he had a grant with some university. We don't exactly know what the grant was for. We're assuming it's not to turn people into snakes.
Right.
But anyway, he and his daughter have a snake research, and then they're like, they have like a ghetto like snake farm like they have out there in Florida.
Yep.
So they put on a snake show where they abuse the animals they're studying for $18.
It's expensive. It's expensive.
Exactly. It's ridiculousness. And they are blazing through lab assistants because the doctor's conducting the experiments. Apparently, daughter doesn't notice that the assistants just keep disappearing.
Right. Yeah, that was a question we're going to have to answer.
Anyway, the town toughs don't like the Dirk Benedict character, so they keep appearing, disappearing. Daughter goes to the freak show because
why not?
Because Florida is where the freak show is still fresh and lively.
Yep.
Every time I turn on the news, I see nothing but freaks out of Florida. So, recognizes that it is the old lab assistant, abandons him there.
Yep.
Later, skater runs back home. Too late, man, because now Dirk Benedict, who she's been doing the bone daddy with, is all now pure snaky. Snakes fight. The police show up.
Mongoose,
ridiculousness. And then you just don't know if Dirk Benedict Snake lives or dies. It was like one of those 70s question marks, just so they could have a 2. So that'd be like 8 S's.
We need to talk about how basically you suggested this, and the only place we could find to watch it was on YouTube.
I guess you could buy it. In 2016, they released it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No!
I ain't buying this.
Not only that, when I went to watch it on YouTube, I had to watch it with some waves
yes.
or something.
Yes.
Did you watch that same bootleg version of it?
Well, I think there's some deal where
if you jack it all up, then you can keep it up there.
Yes, I think it's like sometimes they'll like do a mirror image, like play the screen backwards to try to fool the algorithm. Because I guess you can't have you can't just put up a movie on YouTube without paying some royalties. So in order to sidestep this, they had like 3 wavy, bright lines cutting across at the entire film. So that was a good, enjoyable movie watching experience, let me tell you.
At first, I thought we were like the snake in a bag, and then eventually it was all going to clear away. Because at the beginning, there's this thing about all the snakes are real.
Yes.
And why was that perfectly clear?
Yeah, that was perfectly clear. That's exactly right. Well, it also went a step further. It's like, and all the actors were placed in these hazardous conditions. Oh, really?
For $25, I'm guessing.
Right. Basically, for a month, the actors just had to deal with it. Here's like real poisonous snakes. Here's a real king cobra. Here's black mambas. You're going to be playing with.
And people got bit.
Yep.
And they were not defanged. They were not devenomized. Nope. They were actually milking them.
Yep.
So I figured with the anti-venom, they don't need to put on the freak show where the crazy dude is slapping around the snake.
Well, let's jump right. Again, I had never even heard of this GD movie. When were you first acquainted with Sssss? Do you remember?
I, honest to God, don't even know. It's one of these things where I have always been aware of this movie. Like since the dawn of time. So I don't know. Did I see it on TV? I don't know where I saw it, why I saw it, but I just remember seeing the Snake Man and being freaked the hell out. Quite frankly, the snake look was super creepy.
Okay. What's interesting is way back when I suggested we do the movie Slither, you at that time thought we were doing
Yes, I got confused what the names were. Yeah.
Yes. And that was the first time I'd even heard of it. The first time you mentioned it then, I'm like, what is this GD movie we're doing?
In the 70s, it was all about nature going crazy.
Yes.
So it was giant bugs. It was giant frogs.
Yep.
It was bears being crazy. There was like all kinds of these movies. And then there was Jaws. It was all about nature going rogue because we'd f***ed up the planet.
Exactly. And there's a tired Native American by the side of the road with a lone tear in his eye.
With a lone tear in his eye, disappointed in us.
That's basically what it is. Oh, sweet Jesus. Let's jump. Are you ready to jump right in? Or do you want to say something?
I thought we were waist deep in the water.
We are waist deep. Really quickly, in case anybody doesn't understand what's going on with this plot. Oh, sweet Jesus. Dr. Stoner, like you said, is a herpetologist studying
Did I say he was
reptiles.
A herpetologist?
No, you just said he was a crazy old snake man. We don't know what's going on, but just he needs a new lab assistant.
Yeah,
right?
It's like a Bond villain, they tell their secrets as they're killing you. So as Dirk Benedict's getting his last hoo-ha vaccine shot.
Right. That was
Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
That's exactly. This movie is organized in a very bizarre way. So Dr. Stoner's original lab assistant disappeared. He had to go home. There was an illness in the family. So I need a new one. Enter young Dirk Benedict to be his new lab assistant. Although I think they established he wasn't much of a student. That should have been the red light, right?
I mean, you just show up and just collect bodies, because apparently he dropped out of school right after that also.
Right, exactly.
He just moved in with the doctor and his foxy daughter / granddaughter, whatever. And that was the last he saw of college. And quite frankly, the way they set it up, it appeared to be high school students in a college setting.
Yes.
It was very weird. Passing notes and shit.
Well, and presumably he is like a herpetology major. or grad student or something along those lines.
Little known fact, my brother, I have, in fact, a master's degree, and at no point was I ever required to take a class on snakes.
Well, but I mean, theoretically, this is what he wanted to do, right? Wasn't just an elective.
But he's apparently like 19 years old. He's like, as like a sophomore in college.
But he rolls over to the doctor's lab or whatever and seemingly knows nothing about snakes at all, to the point that the doctor has to basically school him on everything.
This is
Here's
a
what
snake.
we do.
You have to be careful.
You'll notice they don't have limbs, these snakes. And you never actually see him do any kind of lab assistant duties.
No, his duty seems to be boinking the daughter. That seems to be the daughter. He does nothing except...
Do you get course credit for that, is all I'm asking.
Hey, I've seen people do all kinds of stuff for course credit.
But so early on, the doctor's like, hey, if you're going to handle the snakes, I have to give you some vaccines, right? And that's when he starts getting these shots from the doctor.
And it's like, shoot me up, bro. Why not? Why not? Not like,
no questions asked.
What the hell are you putting in my arm? Maybe I don't feel comfortable with this. Piss off. No.
Should I get a second opinion? Nothing.
I don't want to join your island of Dr. Moreau. Come on.
That's basically what it is. It's basically... So, I mean, at this point, I mean, we kind of... I don't know. We kind of know that the doctor's up to no good a little bit because there was that opening scene where they're loading some moaning thing into the back of the truck at the carnival.
Right.
So you know something's up.
And Carney Barker is telling him he's like going to win the Nobel Prize for his work.
Right.
So clearly he's confided with the Carnival Barker. I mean,
they're buddies.
How many snake men has he sold to the freak? And for only $300. Doesn't that seem a little light?
Right. Well, he paid him to take him off his hands.
A snake.
No.
Cost more than that.
Sweet Jesus. Over the course of the movie, we figure out the scientist, who really doesn't appears pretty, mild-mannered up to this point, right? Kind of soft-spoken, whatever.
He's all good, except if he talks about failure to communicate. Then you know you're in deep shit.
That's exactly. Then you go into the box.
Then you go into the box.
That'll
be explained later, children.
Exactly.
If you know, you know.
And if you don't, there's not much we can do to help, basically.
We're sad for you.
Halfway through the movie, he talks about how in 50 years, there won't be enough food to support the life on Earth, and, society will come to an end. So at this point, we're starting to realize, okay, so whatever this experiment is, has something to do with that. Kind of a Soylent Green kind of thing going on eventually.
Can you stop for a second and do that math for me? So 1973, so 50 years.
Yeah.
So we're coming up to that.
We're coming up. We're coming damn close for those snake people.
No, the snake people. Hurry up, children. Start injecting the black mamba venom right into your arm.
Oh, well, that's the thing. It's like at one point he gets bitten by a black mamba. The scientist, Dr. Stoner.
Yeah.
And again, not a herpetologist, but he said it's like one bite is enough to kill 10 people or something.
No, black mamba is one of the most deadly snakes.
Right. He gets bit by the black mamba and he's like, whatevs. Oh, he got me. He's not running for the anti-venom or whatever the heck it is.
I'll just milk you later. Back of the box you go.
That's what he says. Yeah. Sweet Jesus. I think he does make a comment like, I've got so much venom in me, it doesn't even matter anymore. Goodness gracious.
I've heard tales like that like they slowly raise up their immunity kind of a thing. I've heard stories like that.
Well, we'll have to see, right? But what's interesting about the way this thing is set up is you think Dirk Benedict is the protagonist, right? He's the hero, but he's not.
He's not. He's too stupid to be the hero.
He is the victim.
Yeah.
He is the victim. And what you discover is that really it's the daughter, Christina, who's kind of the hero, I guess.
I guess. I mean, maybe there is no hero.
It's weird because again,
a hero saves the day. Was anyone saved? No. So
No,
there is no hero.
Is
Is this like the 70s anti-hero? There is no hero? What is this?
something. It's like, hey, I'll, and again, it's young, strapping Dirk Benedict. You think this is his would be his jam? Oh no, no. He's just basically getting injected with every substance known to man. One day he wakes up and he's obviously all green and lizardy. Whoa, my goodness!
Frickin' scales, doesn't even notice. How about that? Oh, one of my favorite scenes is when they're peeling all the skin off of him, which is clearly Elmer's glue, because I used to do that all the time. You had to make sure that he was utterly hairless.
Yep.
I'm not even sure if he had armpit hair.
Nothing.
He was smooth like a seal. Yeah, but anyway, so they start peeling the skin off.
Hey, Doc, is this normal? Oh, yeah, this is fine. This is those toxins coming out of your system. You're doing great.
This is Florida. This happens to everybody.
This is Florida. This is normal for Florida. Oh, sweet. And at one point he says, you can go to a doctor and get a second opinion if you want, but they don't really know anything about venom and snakes and things.
I guess you go to a veterinarian then. Ask them what's going on.
Do something. Don't just be like, whatever, Doc. Why don't you shoot me up some more? Basically.
How about from the moment he started giving him shots, he has bad reaction. He's in pain. He's suffering. And not until the end does he say, like, maybe this isn't for me.
Right.
Like,
by then it's too late.
No, by then it's too late.
Right. Earlier in the movie, you talked about how they went to the carnival and there was a freak show, a sideshow. And in there, you see the man with two noses. You see the big fat guy. I don't know. Is that a freak? I mean,
is that what you do? Poor people. So Floridians, when they get too fat, they just sit behind a shower curtain and the people walk by and stare at them, poke them with a stick. Is that what would happen?
That's pretty much what they do now.
This is the lamest freak show I ever saw.
But then you see the crazy snake man sitting in there all green. And later it's like, doesn't have any legs.
He's like more of like a snake seal man because he's got like flippers and he's flapping and he makes these high pitched. Is that snake sounds? Like when we're asleep, is that how snakes communicate with each other?
Yeah, he was a sea turtle.
He was a sea turtle. Little known fact. Yeah.
Right.
It was all a terrible mistake.
Dirk Benedict goes in, he sees the sea turtle man. He goes, oh, that's interesting. The daughter doesn't go in until later in the movie. She runs back and sneaks into the place and sees it. Oh my God, it's Terry or whatever his name was. Lab assistant. So now the truth is coming out.
And she can tell because he has blue eyes, because they don't have blue-eyed people in Florida.
Well, I guess snake people don't have blue eyes, is basically what it is. It must be Terry, because
there's no snake people.
No, there is not.
So how can you say snake people?
Right. That's sweet Jesus. So
did you have to go to your dungeon master guide?
You do.
To look that up.
The lizard man.
60 hit points and
that's right. Roll the dice. So this is just anarchy. So she runs back to try to, I guess, save her boyfriend. Because that's the thing. This is the daughter of the mad scientist.
Right.
The daughter who's been there since day and oblivious to that her father's pumping every lab assistant full of syringes of chemicals. Ask no questions, not concerned until her squeeze starts turning green, basically.
And even that, you can't look at me. I'm not pretty.
I'm a little puffy.
Like, what?
Right.
I'm a little puffy. I'm a little crampy.
Oh, God. So the final scene, Dirk Benedict literally does not become a snake man. He becomes a snake. He becomes a king cobra.
That's what I was like, okay, so what point do they stop? Oh, he's just becoming a snake. So then how is this helping the human race to exist? Because they literally, it's not like now we're snakes and we're still us.
No.
They're just snakes.
They're just snakes. They just become snakes. So is that helpful? I don't know.
Do you have all your memories, but now you're a king cobra?
Who knows?
So we're going to have a world of 650 million cobras? Is that the plan?
That's the plan, I guess. Right? Who the heck knows?
Yeah, no. I thought it was going to be like Slee-Stacks or something.
Right! That would have been cool.
No! He just turned... It's like reverse Moreau, Island of Dr. Moreau, where he was trying to make the animals into humans.
Yeah.
This dude is making humans into reptiles.
That's correct. That is absolutely... That is his strategy. And then
you're right. Nobel Prize.
Good job.
Absolutely. Bow. Take a bow. Because we really need this because we don't know.
And then he gets killed by a cobra for no reason. Did you notice that scene at the end?
Cobra Kai?
The cobra, there's already a king cobra that he has, and he just releases it.
Is that another lab assistant? We don't know.
We don't know. It could be. I think, he sells the other one to the freak show because it's a failed experiment.
What kind of hijinks have been going on? Dr. Moreau had like whole barns and islands full of things that didn't quite work out, stomping around, wearing half clothes and stuff.
That's right.
Come of thy shame.
What is the law?
What is the law? If you break the law, you go to the house of pain.
That's it. God. Okay. So he's a snake.
Speaking of which, we haven't done any version of the Island of Dr.
We are
Moreau.
Definitely doing at least one, possibly two.
We can do that side by side. We can do like the Val Kilmer. And...
we got to. we got to. There's actually a documentary about the Val Kilmer one.
Because that's probably better than the actual movie.
Oh, you're telling me. Oh, sweet Jesus.
A triple whack pack.
So she arrives, the daughter arrives with like the cops. Cops rescue her from a snake, basically.
What did she tell the cops? My father is turning people into snakes, or there's a snake at the freak show. What did she tell the cops to get them over there?
These are all interesting questions we may never know the answer to. Because she rolls in there with the cops, and all they see is a snake fighting a mongoose on the floor. The mongoose is very intelligent, released itself from the cage.
Yeah, with its little hands, like a raccoon.
Right. So they're fighting, and she's like, oh my God, David! And how do you know that's David? It's just a snake on the floor.
Because he has blue eyes. Baby's got blue eyes.
Don't make your brown eyes blue, is what it is. So the cops are about to shoot. We don't know, shooting the mongoose, shooting the snake, shoot the audience. We don't know what's happening, and then it's fade to black. Good Lord.
I kept stopping. I was like, oh no, did this stupid YouTube cut off? So I was like dipping around. What's the end? And then I actually had to read something where it just ended. It just ends.
We don't know what happens.
No, we don't know.
And we're worse for it, frankly. I want to know.
Oh, my God. I think there's some creepy elements in
You
this
are
movie.
Out of your GD mind. This is nothing but straight to video.
Was the nonsense build up? They're trying to add some kind of air of turn it into like a serpent in the rainbow kind of situation here. Yes, they did try to do that. Did that go on too long without anything actually happening in the story? That is correct. Was the snake man kind of creepy? That is correct.
You are out of your mind.
Were the actors, except for Strother Martin and the other actually named people, the worst acting? It's a wonder Dirk Benedict ever worked again.
I agree. He had to go back to college after this.
I guess back to school, because his acting was so incredibly terrible. It was shocking.
It's not his finest work. I will definitely
not
agree with that.
his work. And in the behind the scenes, he's claiming he was doing theater work before that. I'm like, theater? What, like dinner theater?
He was doing straight dinner theater. I think he was on an episode of Hawaii Five-0 prior.
Oh my God. As body number 3, where they just had a blanket over him. Because it was cringeworthy. Because he was hot to trot in Battlestar Galactica, for those of us.
That was 5 years later.
Well, he had 5 years to improve.
He took some classes, I guess.
I guess he got tired of pumping gas. Time to learn the craft.
This is a damn freak show. Do you want to do behind the scenes?
I want to do favorite parts.
Oh, you got hit me. Hit me.
You don't have any favorite parts? All right.
Go for
Boom,
it.
right here.
Take the wheel.
He is at the carnival
Yes.
after leaving the freak show with the town toughs.
Yep.
And the guy, instead of, I don't know, hitting him, is trying to squeeze him like an anaconda.
Yes.
So Dirk Benedict raises up like a cobra and starts like biting his neck. Like,
Yes.
Like jumping at his neck and
Yes.
taking a bite out. It was so ridiculous. It was fantastic. He was like,
Yes. He did. He bit him. He was like, what the hell's going on?
I can just hear the director. Now, Dirk. Now he's crushing you. Now remember, you're half cobra now.
Get him.
Rise up and strike. Strike again, Dirk. Strike again.
God help me. Oh, God. Yeah, he bit him. He bit him. That was his finest acting in that scene where he did his cobra move. No question.
He was the cobra. This was method acting. I thought it was the Marlon Brando of snake people.
Yeah, he was method. He was method all the way.
Oh,
Sweet Jesus. Anything else?
well, yes, that part was great.
Okay.
The carnival freak dude, that was great. The makeup was great. During the big transformation where Dirk Benedict is in fact becoming the Snake Man.
Yes.
There were parts where it actually looked good before it looked really crappy.
Okay. If you squint your eyes real close and flash the lights and turn around, it looks great.
I thought some of the makeup effect looked kind of cool. But like kind of nowhere else. And the weird squeaking sound of the snake men.
Yep. The old Carney's like hitting the cage. Will you be quiet?
Quiet down in there. Boom, boom, like banging an old television set. Boom.
Oh my sweet God. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean that's the best. That's the best part. What are you gonna say?
I liked the crazy Steve character. Did you like Steve, the bully, the muscle bound bully?
Steve, the half rapist, muscle bound bully, star of the football team because they can't decide if he's in high school or in college.
No, muscle bound.
There seems to be some confusion about that. And then he has a heart attack because it's easier to hide a black mamba in the shower to say, hey, this dude broke into my house and tried to rape my daughter.
Right. That's exactly right. The guy follows her home from the carnival, takes a ladder, goes up to her like third story bedroom window.
He's got like an arm coming through.
But luckily she just sleeps with a giant reticulated python who attacks the dude, so he falls out the window.
And then fights the snake.
Kills the snake.
Tries to do the old head crack on the snake.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Smash cut to he's back in his dorm room with some floozy. He's just like, honey, I just can't handle my biz tonight. He gave some medical excuse. It's like,
Coach says only no more than 2 times a night.
I need my essential juices.
And once again, he just got bit twice by the cobra.
By the mamba.
No. By Dirk Benedict cobra.
Oh, that's correct. You're absolutely right.
And the doctor got through telling us right after this that they can't be copping boot because his blood is toxic.
That's right. Promise me you won't knock boots with him anymore. His blood is toxic.
Just one drop.
Well, and why does the daughter ask some follow-up questions? Well, wait a minute. Why is his blood poisoned now? What have you been doing, Father?
How come I'm not getting inoculated? Because I handle the snakes every day.
Yeah. These are important questions.
You don't love me because you don't give me the poison medicine.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Why, God, why?
And I mean, honestly, no one ever does anything in this lab. Dirk Benedict and the blind daughter always off of skinny dipping, which is apparently a big thing in the 70s. I don't really know you, but let's go swim naked. And I'm going to dunk you in the water. I was like,
well, did you notice?
Down.
Did you notice there were like fake leaves that were superimposed over the screen during the skinny dipping scene? that moved with the camera, so you couldn't see any inappropriate parts.
I apparently missed that
gotta
between
check that
all
out.
the garbage that was already laid over it, so we could watch this bootleg version.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, anything else? Any other highlights?
Oh, it's all highlight. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let's go behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Well, you may have noticed there were a lot of scenes like the poison in the snakes' mouths. The way they did it, you could tell it was not the hands of Strother Martin at all. Like,
I thought Strother was.
He didn't do zippity doo dah.
Are you saying
I'm saying no. And like the scenes,
he got bit by the black mamba. That was.
It was him, but it was clearly not really a black mamba.
Yeah, it pretty much looked like a gopher snake.
Yeah, it was a rosy boa. I mean, because literally, the character may have enough venom running through his veins, but hopefully the actor doesn't. You think it'd be like, stop the camera, I got bit by the black mamba, hurry!
But the sign at the beginning said all these snakes are real. So Strother Martin better effing got bitten by a black mamba, because he acted like he couldn't give a F. He was just like, damn it, you're going.
That was just his acting style, I think, of this. That was called the I don't give a damn style of acting.
We call it the cool hand.
That's what it was. The first time you see Dirk Benedict get injected by Dr. Stoner, he was really injected. They really, Strother Martin actually.
See, method acting.
And you see blood on his arm after that. So there you go.
So what are they?
I don't think they really injected him with anything, hopefully. Maybe heroin. I mean, I don't know.
Steroids, heroin, something. Black
Pretty
mamba.
much. What's hilarious about this is late model Strother Martin and early model Dirk Benedict. So it's two ships passing in the night.
It's true.
I mean, you got to remember, the 70s were rife with big stars from the 40s and 50s who were like, I got to pay my bills.
The young rebellious people did not want to see their parents stars.
So they were forced to do these kind of science fiction-y things. The Charlton Hestons, Ray Millands.
Yes, and the studio system was destroyed. So now these people didn't have these yearly contracts, so they had to be out, beating the bushes.
For real, they could not be choosy anymore. It's very sad. Like I told you, they had the fake leaves covering up their naughty bits because they wanted to have a PG rating. That's what they were going for this movie.
Well, that's back then. There was no PG-13, so it was either PG or it was R.
That's exactly right. PG-13 didn't come around for like another 12 years.
Right.
100 different snakes were used in this movie, including rattlesnakes, boa constrictors, pythons, king cobra, blue racers, hognose snakes, and the two-headed Florida pine snake.
A two-headed. See, I told you, Florida.
That's how they do it. The mongoose in the movie, not a real mongoose.
What was it? A mink?
It was a member of the weasel family called a tyra.
I don't know what the hell that is. Because they can get 900 poisonous snakes, but a mongoose is a rarity?
Yes. Because I think the mongoose would have really killed the cobra.
Oh, so they were just having the weasel getting eaten by the cobra? I
think the weasel who gives a damn. The king cobra is an expensive animal, would be my guess. I don't know.
Because it was clearly a thing chewing on a thing. Or maybe they said they did use one stunt snake. But that looked like a real business.
There were definitely fake snakes in this too. Make no mistake.
They're claiming only one.
Okay, anytime it was just like the cobra head, all you see is there's like Strother Martin like grabbing just the cobra head. That ain't no real cobra.
Oh, I'm sorry. They meant they had just one dummy snake that they use constantly.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. Well, and the snake that Steve is wrestling around with, it started out being real, but obviously when it's all like a bloody slop mess, that was not a real. That was like a garden hose or something at that stage, I guess. Oh, sweet Jesus.
I'm having visions of Ed Wood with poor Bela Lugosi pulling the tentacles of the octopus around him, rolling on the ground.
This movie was originally entitled Snake, but then they changed it to the more famous to make it more mysterious.
But it was Snake in the UK.
It was
releases.
4 S's, Snake. Very clever. This was the first Zanuck Brown production. A few years later, they had a much bigger hit. Do you know what it was?
Jaws.
I
just pulled that out of my butt.
It was.
It's funny that they would give him a big budget.
You're telling me. Sweet Jesus. Good Lord.
They did a little bit better job with that. Now, is this Zanuck related to the famous
I think so.
Zanuck?
I think this is like the son of the famous Zanuck.
All right.
I may be mistaken.
All right.
Do you want to go to the cast? We've talked about it.
Well, Dirk Benedict, who went on to be in which one was he? Starbuck.
Starbuck on Battlestar Galactica in the late 70s, and then of course by the mid 80s, he was Face Man on the A-Team.
I never watched that.
That was how I knew him originally. Old Dirk Benedict.
Okay.
He should have been a huge star, in my opinion. He should have been a huge star, and he was not. He had 2 very popular TV shows. He wasn't like the main character of either
what
one.
Do you think?
He was just both times he was kind of a supporting player, and then that was it.
Because his acting is weak, or
maybe.
What do you
I don't
think?
know.
Well, you're the A-Team. Quite frankly, I thought Mr. T was the face man on that show. He was clearly the star. I pity the fool.
Well, that's the thing. Mr. T goes. Well, I mean, Mr. T had already been in Rocky 3 by the time he did that, so he was already kind of lame. But Mr. T, yeah, he got like cereal, Mr. T cereal. He got Mr. T's like cartoon show on Saturday mornings. There was no Dirk Benedict cereal. Where was my Dirk Benedict cereal? Damn it!
What was it? And that's a great rock and roll name. That is a good actor name.
Absolutely.
Too. You're not even messing around. There was no one named Dirk back then.
No.
And what did he go on to do after 18?
Okay. You really want to know?
I thought you said. No, I thought you said there was another show.
That was basically it. But I mean, I can tell you, he did some. A-Team from 83 to 87. He did 1 episode of Hotel.
Oh Lord! Then it just
1 episode of Alfred
One
Hitchcock.
here, one there.
Something called Trench Coat in Paradise. You know it, don't you?
Oh my God, sounds like a flasher in Hawaii.
Bejeweled, Blue Tornado.
Oh my God, boy, he really fell off the raft. Did he get fired from A-Team?
No, the show just got canceled eventually.
Because I watched, they had like the behind the scenes with a 2016 Dirk Benedict. He looked a little rougher.
Well, he had a cameo in the remake of the TV show. They made a movie, The A-Team, with Liam Neeson and Bradley Cooper. He popped in for 5 minutes, and a little rough. But what do you want? It's been like 30 years.
But it looks like maybe an addiction rough, not like I just got old. I mean, I didn't bother to look it up, but I'm just telling you what it looks like. A Jeff Conway.
Oh no!
Versus a Liam Neeson.
That's a bridge too far. You can't do my boy Dirk like that. Come on.
All right. I don't know. I'm just telling you, he has the
interesting.
Look. The
Jordache basics. Here we go. Strother Martin played Carl Stoner. You know him. He was obviously Cool Hand Luke. He was the Wild Bunch.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
That's right. He was in Slapshot. He was in the Wild Bunch, True Grit.
Oh, I love. He did. He was great. He was great. He really should have saved his money.
You're telling me. Let's see. The daughter.
She's the wild card. She was in a ton of shit, and she was married to Bobby.
That's right,
Urich.
Heather Menzies Urich. She was Louisa in The Sound of Music. First of all,
Louisa. Like I'm 16, going on 17.
I don't think that is that Louisa. I don't think that is. She's not Brigida. I don't remember.
No, I'm looking it up. Louisa, Sound of Music.
She was also in Piranha a few years later. She was in the Logan's Run TV series. So that means something.
Oh, I used to watch that. Greg Evigan.
Greg Evigan was on the... No, I think it's not Greg Evigan. It's
Gregory
Harrison, for God's sake.
Gregory Harrison. Yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Louisa's not the one who liked the Nazi
No.
boy. She's like a little blonde girl with bangs.
Yeah. She has a look where you're just like, I must know her from something. And then you look and you're like, well, so she was just basically a day player for 100 years.
Yeah. She's basically unrecognizable between and Sound of Music.
Yeah, basically.
She's a completely different looking person.
Her biggest claim to fame was that she married Robert Urich of Vegas and Spencer for Hire fame. So yeah, that's to look forward to.
Vegas.
The guy who played Steve, his name was Reb Brown, and he went on to become Captain America in those made-for-TV movies.
I didn't know they were made for TV Captain America.
Back in the let's see. Yeah. He did a few of them, like 2 or 3. He was also your Hunter from the Future, if you like that.
Oh my Lord, I don't even know what you're saying when you say
Good
that.
times. Other than that, a bunch of old snake people. The guy who played Snaky Joe in this, his name is Noble Craig, and he was a Vietnam veteran.
I knew, man. That dude was some kind of horrible
amputee.
Stuff blowed up around him.
He lost both legs and an arm in Vietnam and went on to have a short movie career, including The Snake Man. But he was also the crazy vomit man in Poltergeist 2. So you have that to look forward to.
Oh.
Yeah. He was also in The Blob. He was in a few other things. He was a sewer monster in Big Trouble in Little China. I don't know what the sewer monster is.
Lord, God
bless them.
There's special agents that handle all kinds of things, all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent.
Pretty much. Good times. Do you want to jump right into the ratings?
No, because you didn't talk about the guy who runs the freak show, and you didn't talk about the mean college professor, who are both real actors.
Okay. Dr. Daniels, who we didn't even mention in our summary. He was a college professor.
He was inconsequential.
Well, he gets eaten by a boa constrictor or a python or something, swallowed whole. You see his foot
An
go.
anaconda cannot eat a whole person.
Fully clothed, you see like the boot go in its mouth.
You literally see like a loafer going down the snake's pie.
His name was Richard Schull, who was in Splash and Garbo Talks and Private Parts. So there you go.
Is that it?
Spring Break. I mean, he's a working actor. Victor Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
House Sitter. He was in a bunch of things. Not a big star.
All right, but enough where he
looks familiar.
To
Yes.
you.
The guy who ran the carnival, his name was Kogan. He was played by Tim O'Connor. Famously, he was in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Does that do anything for you?
The series or the
series?
Movie? With Gil Gerard?
With Gil Gerard and Aaron Gray, of course.
What if I told you I could sing the theme
Let's
song?
hear it.
Far beyond this place I've known, far beyond my time. Is that
That's
enough?
more than enough. I would argue. Sweet Jesus.
But I thought he was like in isn't he in a Twilight Zone episode?
He was in
an
episode of The Outer Limits. He was in one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. He was in Naked Gun 2.5. The Smell of Fear.
He's a character actor.
He's a recognizable dude. You've seen him in stuff before.
Absolutely.
Good. Any other cast members you'd like to discuss?
I'm not sure there are, and we're going to have to discuss the individual snakes at this point.
We are, sweet Jesus. Let's go ahead and discuss our ratings. Received a 30% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
That seems fair.
And the audience gave it 25%. So that tells you from bad to worse. So good times.
But once again, it's no cannibal.
No, it is not. You seem to enjoy this movie much more than I did. I found it boring and pointless.
It was boring, and I caught myself looking at Facebook from time to time. But thankfully, I was watching while Dirk Benedict's pretending to be a cobra biting Captain America. So luckily, I looked up at that point. But as a youngster, there were some scenes that I thought, when they were in the freak show, you're looking at the Snake Man, that I thought was truly creepy. And I think there are some reviewers who say that was like the best part. Was the special effects.
There's no question that the quality of the Snake Man was of Land of the Lost quality. You know what I'm saying?
It was comparable to any of Sid Rothrock's contribution. HR Puffin stuff or the
that is absolutely correct. It was good. It was good for what it was. Make no mistake.
When I was a kid, I remember just being freaked out. It was I probably saw it on TV or something, but I
this
don't know.
Is definitely like, as a child, Saturday afternoons, you'd be flipping channels and you'd see some random thing.
Oh my God, maybe it was on Elvira.
Sweet Jesus.
Were you too young to remember Elvira?
I watched Elvira. Absolutely.
I freaking loved Elvira. I thought she was comedy high jinx.
I agree. Ain't no lie.
She needs to bring that shit back.
She tried a couple times.
I mean, literally, she was Joe Bob before this Joe Bob thing, where she'd cut into the show going, "What the hell?" She was fantastic. She could make the most boring movie so funny with her sassiness.
Used her on this one. I'm not gonna lie. So what do you got? What's your rating?
This is more of a mystery science theater, Elvira. You need the comedy cutting.
You do. You absolutely do. Good Lord.
I'm gonna give it 2. No, that's generous. 1.5 Dirk Benedict snake pellets.
Out of what?
Out of 5.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving it 1 out of 4 circus freaks. So yeah, it's sweet Jesus. It was. Look, I like to think that movies that I choose, not great, but are usually kind of amusing. This was rough. This was rough sledding.
It was a little boring.
It was. So good times.
Let me ask you this question. We had a comet here not that long ago. I believe it was last week. Were you aware that there was a comet crossing
I
the
did
Earth?
not know that.
Yeah, literally everybody I know was up in the mountains to avoid lights to take pictures of the comet. And all I could say was, you go ahead. I'm going to be locked in my bunker because I saw.
Night of the Comet.
What did I see? Night of the Comet.
Right.
Don't be running out there. You don't know what's going on.
Don't do it. Yeah, I'd be red dust right now. I was totally oblivious. We've lost contact with Newfoundland. So that's not a very good sign. So there you have it.
Is anyone in contact with Newfoundland?
To be honest, sweet Jesus. So thank you for joining us. Go to our page on Facebook at The Podcast That Wouldn't Die. Go to our page on Twitter at TPodcastTWDie. Email us at thepodcastthatwouldn'tdie@gmail. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, etc., etc. Like, share, rate, and subscribe if you will. And Aaron, you are on Twitter as well.
The Cult of Aaron with like an underscore under every single word, just for
so
your
good luck trying to find that one. So thank you very much and be well.
Rock on and wear your freaking mask, you knuckleheads.